Hello and welcome everyone to the Go Mode Podcast Twitch channel. We've got something a little bit different for you today. My name's jmeasher and I'm joined by Espeon. Espeon, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing wonderful, and I'm very excited to be here because we are presenting an Overworld Glitches exhibition race between Malmo and Spleebie.
Yes, very, very exciting stuff. If you've been keeping up with the Go Mode Podcast, which I highly recommend if you're not, you're probably aware that their recent episode was all about overworld glitches. So in that spirit, decided to throw a little bit of a for fun race between these two, and yeah, this should be a lot of fun. Get pretty weird. I know I'm looking forward to this as I am not very familiar with what overworld glitches entail. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little, just kind of a short intro to what this mode is going to be like.
Absolutely. So Overworld Glitches is a different set of logic and rule set for the randomizer. Logic being, of course, the way the randomizer places items, and the rule set is what's allowed. So your typical rule set is the, it allows a bunch of minor glitches, but we are going to be playing with a significantly expanded set of glitches, which is why you can see that we have boots start. It used to be that glitches just started with boots, but that's everyone gets that now. But the glitches are very, very useful. So I will just start explaining stuff because we're going to need to. So the basic idea of a lot of these overworld glitches that we're going to see is the diagonal wall. Diagonal walls in this game are interestingly coded. I'll just say that. You can clip into them by repeatedly tapping with your boots into the wall. So we're seeing two pretty typical opening routes. Spleebie is heading over to Sahasrahla, and Malmo is going to Sanctuary first. So I'll start explaining the glitches when they come up.
Yeah, and for me, I think this is the thing I'm most interested to see is, if for anybody who's not familiar with overworld glitches, is maybe more used to the normal randomizer, our routing here is probably going to look a fair bit different from what you're used to. And I know that's what I'm most looking forward to here in this one.
Yep. Spleebie's choice of opening route to go to Sahasrahla first is a pretty popular one. It's one that I favor myself because getting to Eastern Palace is a lot easier. Just in terms of routing options, kind of consider that the barriers between walls don't exist. Okay, I should also mention something because Malmo just left behind the flute there.
Yeah, it looked a little weird for Malmo to just walk away from the flute there, but this being an exhibition race, we did have a couple of minor stipulations that the runners have put on themselves.
Yep. So first, we are going to be clearing every normal dungeon except Agra 1, just as an agreement, so that we can show off all the glitches relating to all the dungeons. And in addition, we're also not going to activate the flute because it's bad and useless.
Yes, so the seed has been rolled as just a normal overworld glitch seed, which would normally entail just doing the crystals. But yeah, since we want to show everything off, we'll be doing some pendants on this. I'll go ahead and hand it off to you because we've already got some weirdness happening on Malmo's side.
Oh yeah, so Malmo just clipped into a wall. As I said, the diagonal walls of this game are kind of terrible. You can just kind of go into them with the boots. And so this is a particular application of this clip that we call Death Mountain Ascent, or DMA for short. There are a variety of DMAs, but they all entail getting onto Death Mountain early in some way. And so this one in particular is called Near DMA just because it was discovered most recently, and it lets you get right into the Old Man Cave. So the first thing is that the ledges are work from both sides. So Spleebie is going to show it here, and I'll explain it as we go. So if you buffer into the wall, you can jump the ledge from the wrong side, sort of, and you can see that multiple times here. And now it kind of moving around with the cameras right now is very broken. But Spleebie is actually on top of this ledge. When he comes out of the cave, you'll be able to see that he managed to screen wrap all the way up to there. That's actually not what we want. We want to jump down to the Old Man Cave in front. So we're actually going to try again. Or I think actually Spleebie is going to just go for the classic DMA here. Yep. So we're going to do an up teleport, make a bad screen transition, and fix the camera. So, okay, I said a bunch of things. I have to explain all of them. Oh no, okay. Well, now I have a bunch of extra time.
Yeah, unfortunately, both of our runners taking a Death Mountain death there. Low health and Death Mountain can be pretty rough.
Okay, so off of sloped walls, we can do two tricks in particular. We can do up teleports and down teleports. The only difference is the number of pixels into the wall that we go, but we can kind of trick the game into snapping us to a position very high or very low compared to what we're supposed to be on. And so that's what's called a teleport. You'll see a lot of those. Teleports are probably by far the most common trick that we use. So then the other thing that happened, which I guess I can just explain right now. Oh, Spleebie, no. So if you kind of have the camera broken and you go into the old man cave and the camera or the cave isn't fully on screen, the game doesn't really know where to put you, so it takes a long time to resolve the transition. Okay, they're going very fast, and I do not have time to explain everything.
Yeah, but we're going to do our best to explain this stuff, but obviously this is a race, and so these guys are going to be trying to do all this as quickly as possible.
Also, PRD and checks are here to help me explain things, because there is no way I can explain everything fast enough.
All right. Attempting to do another glitch here, and I believe I've seen this one before. This one should take you to the top of Death Mountain, correct?
Depends exactly when you're doing where you do it. Spleebie switched over to the other side to do Heraclip. So more glitches. If you jump off the bottom of a screen, a lot of the time it will wrap you around to the top of the screen, just because of the way that the coordinate system works. It tries to resolve your local coordinates, and they go lower than you expect, so it wraps around to the top, and so that lets you just jump into Hera. What Spleebie was trying to do, I think, is teleport to Graveyard Wedge, which is not something that is done too often, just because it's probably the most difficult teleport in the game due to all the rocks falling. Makes it very difficult to get the precise pixel lineups that you need. So teleports are a pixel perfect trick, every single one. We have very good visual cues for them, but they are still pretty tricky to get. Ooh, there you go. Very nice.
So it does get it, but we'll see if this ends up paying off. Also, it should be mentioned, we do have quick stop on for this. So you may notice far less menuing than you're used to as well.
That being said, menus are very useful. Particularly because they let you buffer diagonal inputs. A lot of the time for glitches, we want to get perfect diagonal inputs, such as for every teleport, we are doing a diagonal input into the wall to get the teleport off, and so you need to buffer that some way. Sometimes, most of the time, you can do it with either a sword spin or a sword slash, but sometimes it's better to just menu. So here, Malmo is clipping into this wall, and actually going to cheat the race game and get the item without actually doing the race. So another consequence of teleports is they put you in places the game absolutely does not expect you to be, such as like partially inside that ledge, and you can get up into the race game.
And I assume that the trigger for him, telling you off for trying to cheat it is a little bit further over to the right.
Yeah. Okay. So in addition, we also clipped over to desert. My goodness, they're going very fast, and I do not have time to explain anything. So the desert teleport is a very common way to gain entry to the back here, and here is the hookshot in Desert Palace. It is worth reiterating that all of this is in logic. Everything that they've done, I believe, so far, except for actually the... oh no, we have Lamp, never mind. Old Man is in logic. But everything that we have done is in logic. All these crazy boot clips are required. But it is worth noting, also, that there are easier ways to do a lot of things. The knowledge base, I guess, is very large for glitched modes, and you don't need to know everything. In fact, you only need a very small number of things in order to actually complete any given seed, usually.
Yeah, on that note, obviously there's a lot of items that if you play traditional rando, your normal open, there's a lot of items you know that you will definitely need to complete a seed. How does that differ in Overworld glitches?
Yeah, a lot of things just go out the window. Flute, as I've said, is completely useless. It unlocks literally 0 items, so there's no logical reason to ever get it. Mitts are almost entirely useless. They can make some things easier, but are generally skippable using almost anything that you have on hand. Pearl is a very nice item to have, but you don't need it.
I know I saw some talk that Spleebie was hoping that Moon Pearl was somewhere terrible and was going to try and go without it. So we'll see if that ends up happening. But like you said, probably will pick it up if it becomes available.
Yeah. As I've mentioned, this is called Overworld glitches. So, as you might expect from the name, we allow major glitches in the overworld, but not the underworld. So anything that you see like in the underworld as a requirement, such as the bow, the hammer in some dungeons, you will still need those items. But to get to things on the overworld, like you need, mitts to get into Ice Palace, but we can skip that with glitches. Ursta asking about gloves. Gloves are very useful. There are a number of locations that strictly require gloves, such as, for example, Checkerboard Cave. We have no way to access that entrance otherwise. They also let you lift some rocks, but there are very few mitts rocks in the game, actually, and so it's just not very useful to have mitts.
All right, so we've got Spleebie here following shortly behind Malmo. Spleebie, I think, taking a little bit longer to do those Death Mountain glitches, but will be getting his hook shot, while Malmo's going down to South Shore here.
Yeah, the Kakariko into Desert Play is very standard routing for Overworld glitches. Just because the back of Desert isn't logic right away, and the best time to get it is pretty much right after race game.
It certainly makes a lot of sense. Malmo, they're unfortunately trying to get the hook shot clip into the chest, just hit it a little late, and there's Arcane. Curious about that, how the importance of the cane in these types of seats.
Cane is actually quite interesting. It's still exactly the same for Mire, but for Turtle Rock, it is a little bit interesting. And I'll go over that when we start going through Turtle Rock, because I'm sure we will not do it in a normal way.
I would hope not. That'd be pretty boring. Looking forward to seeing some pretty weird stuff, especially once we get into those later dungeons. We're getting a look here at Mini Moldorm. Got 3 bombs, 3 more bombs, heart container, rupees, and heart piece. So not much to speak of there.
So Sphere 1 actually is a lot larger in Overworld glitches, which is a pretty big important part of Overworld routing at the start, just because, for example, everything that you normally have in Sphere 1 is in logic, but also Hobo's in logic, because fake flippers are allowed and required. What else? The Death Mountain is in logic, because you can do DMA up there. Cave 45 is in logic because we can clip over to it. You saw Malmo do that earlier. This crab is bullying Malmo at Ice Rod Cave. We are not going to get the Ice Rod Cave teleport. Oh no.
Yeah, those crabs are pretty terrible in every seed. And unfortunately in this case, really getting in our way as we're trying to show off some cool tech there.
It's okay, we can get Ice Rod Cave later. How many hard walks so far? 0?
Now, I have noticed a couple times here, Malmo has used that hook shot in doing these clips. How's that? Is he doing anything different from the normal boost clips?
Oh yeah, so you can see Spleebie here doing a boots clip, where you just kind of go into the sloped wall. But when we use the hook shot, we're doing something called a super speed clip. So that does use the same super speed glitch that lets you move fast on the overworld by touching stairs. But we use a different property of it that lets you clip very, very easily into corner walls. So, for example, any corner is very easy to clip into. I'm sure we'll see it again multiple times. I'll point it out when it happens next.
Yeah, and that super speed is achieved by basically hitting Y, B, and A all at the same time with the hookshot equipped. That one is used in Harapot, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, the B is not the B is not necessary for this. We just need the super speed state, and so we do not actually need to have our sword held out.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
We also have noticed that we don't actually need to be moving quickly. We just need to have the state armed. Okay, Spleebie did King's Tomb clip, but I was completely unprepared for it, and so I didn't get to explain the fact that you can pick up the Dark Rock without mitts.
Well, that is interesting. So we're going to look at the map here. As we said, these runners will be doing all the dungeons, even though they're technically not required to. This being an exhibition match again, I'm just agreeing to do all of them so we can...
Malmo is showing off. Malmo is doing
there it is.
A time-saving clip that is not required, but it lets you get into Ice Shroud Cave slightly faster, and it's really good.
Very smartly stunning the crab that time to prevent him from teasing us like that. And Spleebie is in Hera.
Are we going for Harapot here, I assume? Looks like it. Ooh,
yeah, pretty standard super speed Harapot. It only takes them 3 tries, which if you're able to get it within 3 to 5 tries, it's definitely worth a try to bufferless.
Ooh, Malmo, you bonks. So just like with it's water walk. If you bonk during water walk, it's bad. Don't do it.
Yeah, I have to be super careful about that. Oh, Spleebie.
Nah, it's intentional. So the big key is in the basement here, and I believe Spleebie got the small key, the map, and the compass out of the available chests in Hera, which is kind of terrible. Malmo is going to come here and also discover that Hera is completely useless for the time being. Okay, so Spleebie just did an up teleport into the cloud layer, which is actually you can just kind of run over here, and there's water here, which is not very surprising because it's clouds, and there's also an invisible ledge. So the out of bounds collision is a little bit weird sometimes. A lot of the time there's just no tiles there, and sometimes there's weird invisible ledges or patches of water kind of just sitting around that you can use to your advantage in some cases. But now we are on East Death Mountain. We do have the hookshot, so we could have actually gotten over here normally, but that's boring.
Yeah, we gotta show off all the cool tech for this. And yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense with the cloud layer being water, just a programming quirk, I'm sure.
Right, Malmo, I didn't get a chance to say it because she did it way too fast, but Malmo did T-Rock Climb there, which is a different glitch that lets you get over here. There's a lot of ways to get over to East Death Mountain. Death Mountain has a lot of sloped walls, as you can see, and that makes it very ripe for glitching. You may also have noticed that there is a sign on the land bridge between West Death and East Death Mountain. That is not a vanilla sign. We added it in the randomizer. It contains... it used to just say, how did you get up here? Because you're not supposed to. But now it actually has the names of the Overworld Glitches tournament winners.
I'd say that's a very fitting place for it. That's really cool.
And I believe it was Christos Owen in 2018 and Glan in 2019. And Spleebie is top 8 in the 2019 tournament.
Yeah, I know there tends to be fairly little overlap between people who run overworld glitches and just normal rando, but I do know I've seen Spleebie around both scenes, so a very, very capable runner.
Alright, I don't think we really found anything in Paradox Cave, which is kind of unfortunate. So we are going to head down to Zora area. Maybe not what we wanted. Not sure. Okay, we're gonna continue.
Oh, this looks normal.
Yeah, so the game never got the chance to load the correct palette for the main light world, and it instead just has the Death Mountain palette, and so everything's broken.
We may see that a few more times as we go forward.
Yes. I will try to remember to warn people before we go into Mire, but I will probably forget. I agree, Purdy, but his movement wasn't like towards waterfall, so it didn't really make any sense. On the other hand, I did teach Malmo how to do this yesterday, so we will see if she gets it. Malmo, no, you're supposed to go to the waterfall.
We're turning in that mushroom for just 20 rupees. So interesting so far. I mean, we've got a lamp, we've got hook shot. Where are we heading next on Spleebie's side?
Gonna be honest, we don't really have much outside of Sphere 1 at this point. Hookshot doesn't get us anything. We've got Powder accessible, so we do have Magic Bat, which we can skip Hammer for, of course. Oh no, that's terrible. There's a Hammer on King Zora.
Oh my. I believe there must have been a 300 somewhere that Malmo got that Spleebie is missing.
Okay, so Malmo here is going to do a spin speed clip, just wanted to quickly mention, so you can go right through that corner. And here we can see the King's Tomb entry, where you pick up the Dark Rock despite not actually having mitts. That just works because you're halfway between the bush and the rock, and the game lets you pick up the rock for some reason.
Okay, yes. Tyler Salt pointing out 300 rupees in Ice Rod Cave. I thought I remembered seeing that getting picked up somewhere. I just could not remember where. And so that suggests that Spleebie will probably get that soon. I mean, is there much left for Spleebie at this point besides Zora?
Eastern Palace, we haven't touched that. But I can actually see Spleebie going to get Water Walk off of Ice Rod Cave and just going up to Zora like you would in NMG. Because Water Walk will also let you get the waterfall chests at the same time, and that'll provide some additional routing. Alright, Malmo here doing the clip to Bat Cave that I just mentioned. So what we do here is we jump over the screen transition, hit it from the wrong side, which causes the game to wrap us around into the middle of the screen, which just so happens to be past the hammer peg.
Very cool, and we appreciate Malmo for showing that off for us, despite having that hammer.
Oh yeah, it's probably faster. It's probably not, actually.
Well, I guess if you do the clip
with quick swap, it is certainly not faster.
Yes, that is true.
But Spleebie does arm Water Walk here, so I actually expect that we go back up to Waterfall and Zora. Oh yeah, we could have Super Bunny Cave progression, that would be terrible. Please no. Okay, Malmo turning in the mushroom now. Spleebie doing something. Not sure. Oh, I see. Okay, so getting blue potions out of the Waterfall Fairy. So there is a glitch involving blue potions in particular, which is fairly well known. It's called a fake flute. It is not in logic, but it is very useful.
And it only works with blue potions?
Yes, it only works with blues, not red or green.
Alright, well, Spleebie gonna get his hammer here. And this should bring them pretty much level.
I believe, yeah, we have done almost every check the same, except I think Spleebie has not done Magic Bat, and I think that's it. Of note is that we have not gone to front of escape yet, I'm pretty sure.
That is true.
Where's Malmo going? Hobo, probably? I have no idea where Malmo's going, honestly.
Spleebie just gonna bite the bullet here and get this big key in Hera, it looks like.
Well, it is an item.
It is an item, and also with that hammer, we'll be able to beat the boss as well. So,
Malmo, did you not already go here? Oh, getting Water Walk. Interesting. Oh, Malmo has not done Waterfall Cave. I can't say I agree with going to a Waterfall Cave before front of escape. For Spleebie, it makes sense because he didn't do Zora, but Malmo is just not going to front of escape. Escape before the hour mark. Yeah, that's illegal.
yeah, it made more sense for Spleebie just because so he was in the area and also still needed to do Zora, but yeah. I presume escape is something that gets put off for quite a while. I mean, even in normal rando, it's something that a lot of people don't like doing. They can help it, but how different is that in overworld glitches?
We actually tried to delay escape even longer, just because there is a particular thing you can do where you route Pyramid Fairy with escape, and it's basically like the best possible routing, but you need mirror for it, or you can't do anything. Kind of obviously because you need mirror to go from Pyramid to escape, but also because you need the mirror to get Pyramid Fairy. And so we very much try to wait for mirror before going to escape, and sometimes that backfires horribly. It's very interesting because we just kind of delay different things compared to no glitches. Spleebie will get the first dungeon clear though with the Smoldorm fight.
Yeah, and again, just for anybody who's maybe just tuning in, this is a typical overworld glitches seed, where the runners would typically only need to get the crystals, but they have both agreed to do all of the dungeons minus Aggro 1 before finishing. But Spleebie does take down Moldorm and has the first crystal.
Alright, we get a map check here. So we have pendants in Swamp and Ice. And the red crystal doesn't matter because thing that we'll see later. Alright, Spleebie is going to show off a fake flute here. So if you drink this blue potion at the same time as a screen transition, you will discover that you have not consumed any magic or hearts and consequently cannot drink the blue potion. Oh, that's what will happen. So to do a YBA, you actually do need to be able to drink the potion, which we could not do.
Yeah,
and so
that
we
would
can't do the YBA.
That would be a problem. Looks like still intent to go for it.
But what if required mirror in Pyramid Fairy? It would be sad. Okay, well, mirror is not in Pyramid Fairy. Confirmed.
Yeah, speaking of, all right, so Spleebie back over here now with missing 3 hearts. So
okay, this is why we get punished, because mirror is just in front of escape in logic and we just never get it. Okay, so Spleebie just got the fake flute. Okay, so drinking the blue potion on the screen transition triggers the game into activating the flute code, but you're in Dark World, and the game does not expect you to be in Dark World. So what it does first is it puts you on the Light World screen that you select, but it's actually in a game state called Fake Light World, where when you make this another screen transition, it puts you into Dark World for real. The other thing it does is it gives you Super Bunny on the Overworld, which is not something that you can normally get in no glitches open easily. You can get it in inverted. But so now that we get Super Bunny, we can actually now go to a tree pole, like ones that would give you prizes when you pull on it. And if we touch it, we will turn into regular state. So now Spleebie is just the Link in the Dark World. No Moon Pearl.
Yeah. And this is what you were talking about earlier, where Moon Pearl is useful but not necessarily required.
Yeah. So the thing here is, the next time we hit a underworld entrance, so the next time we go into a cave or a dungeon, we will actually lose the state. We will come out as a bunny, and so we need to essentially just do everything that we can here.
Meanwhile, we did have a bow over in Dark Cross on Malmo's side. Yeah, I was actually about to ask about that. So basically, doing this sort of incentivizes you to do a lot more Overworld, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we have mirror, bow, and sword in escape. That is really unfortunate, actually. Oh no, I forgot to mention the mire. So if you come into mire from the outside, the game does not load the rain correctly, and you get some very nice visuals.
Just some strobing lights there. Oh, hey, we got a sword here on Spleebie's side. So at least getting something out of this.
Yeah. Did you catch the mire medallion?
I don't believe so.
Purity, I said I would forget, and I did. I knew I'd forget, because I always do. Alright, but Malmo is going to take the bow and go straight to Eastern, which I actually mildly disagree with. I would try and get this with Pod, because we do have hammer and lamp and everything.
Yeah, I think and this is true for NMG rando. You'd want to go Pod into Eastern Palace with this loadout for sure.
And you might say, but Espeon, we don't have the Moon Pearl. And I would say, well, yeah, but it doesn't matter, because this is Overworld glitches and we have bottles. Spleebie, what are you doing? This is terrible. Alright, so Spleebie here is doing what is called a one-frame clip, and is demonstrating why boots are not actually required to do glitches, because you can just kind of walk into diagonal walls. So, so that is made much easier with boots, obviously. You can just clip straight to the wall. But you can also just kind of walk into walls, because this game is programmed really well, and so you can just jump off the mountain.
Of course, and this obviously differs because we're not in that state of the game thinking we're in Light World.
We're not in Super Bunny.
Yeah. So we're going to go in here into Skill Woods, going to die and activate Super Bunny state this way.
Okay, so this is not Super Bunny, actually. This is...
Oh.
Alright, so before I said fake Light World, where the game is on a Light World screen, but it thinks we're in Dark World. But dying here actually activates a different glitch, or it's the same glitch, I guess, but it's called fake Light World. The game is on a Dark World screen, but thinks we're in Light World internally. And so we gain a link state here, which we can use as long as we don't make a screen transition. As soon as we make a screen transition, the game fixes or realizes that we're supposed to be in Light World and fixes us to be in Light World. So that means that we can clear out Skullwoods here without a Moon Pearl. So Fake Dark World is activated just by dying in a dungeon, but it's actually patched out of No Glitches Randomizer because it's kind of bad and it would activate in a lot of things that you wouldn't want. So we just patch it out. But we leave it in for Overworld glitches because it lets you do things things like this where you can clear out all of Skullwoods. Now, related is called a glitch called Dungeon Bunny Revival. Wait, Spleebie.
Yeah, that's going to be twice getting grabbed by that hand. No, I was just going to say, it definitely seems like it's in the spirit of this mode, so I can understand why it was left in.
Alright, Spleebie is not going to get grabbed again. Hopefully. Oh, it was all for a compass. Alright, so something of note is Pearl location, since we have not yet seen Moon Pearl, but we have kind of a lot of items. Moon Pearl can be in kind of all the typical places on Light World, but there's also a number of places in Dark World that it can be. The fake flute that Spleebie did is out of logic, as well as the one-frame clip, but there is an in-logic way to get off of Death Mountain, which is to use the mirror that Malmo has. There's a mirror clip, which is quite easy, actually. It was one of the first glitches discovered in this game, so it's very old. And so you can actually use the mirror to go down to Village of Outcasts and Skullwoods in logic.
Interesting. Well, Malmo takes out Armos Knights, gets a red boomerang for trouble. But there's one dungeon down on Malmo's side.
Very nice hover, as Spleebie said.
Cheeky, let's say cheeky little hover over the Skullwoods gap.
Alright, so as Spleebie makes the transition out of this here, we will see that there's actually the green guards, and so Spleebie is now in Light World. Magically. But it is Light World with Dark World palette, so it's kind of broken. Alright, Malmo doing a nice clip. One of my favorites, going from Eastern Palace up to the Witch Hut.
And Spleebie just deftly dodging that flute there. Again, we are intentionally leaving that flute behind. Runners have agreed to skip that just because flute would take away from some of the fun factor of routing around the seed.
And on pedestal, we do have a fairy in a bottle, which is actually kind of tempting because bottles are good, but we're not going to need it, so we can safely skip pedestal.
All right. Well, this is good news for Spleebie. Finally, heading over here to Uncle. If he continues on into Hyrule Castle, we'll get that mirror and the bow and another sword.
Okay, Malmo here is going to do a kind of a long glitch that I'm going to try and explain. So this is the glitch to get into Pyramid Fairy. Obviously, there's like a big wall in the way, and I've only said that we can clip into diagonal walls, and it's like a flat wall. But there is no wall there in the Light World. So we can just, if we can set a mirror portal there inside the wall, we can get ourselves stuck inside the entrance. Malmo got stuck, so now needs to kill herself. That's unfortunate. So, alright, let me go back. So, we want to put a mirror portal on the spot of the Pyramid Fairy, but obviously we can't just mirror there normally, so what we have to do is jump off Death Mountain a couple of times, which wraps our global coordinates all the way down to the pyramid screen. And then if we place a mirror in a particular place, we can then enter the mirror on the screen. So Malmo just took a death, which is not what we wanted, but will achieve the same effect of getting down here without taking a save and quit, which will delete the mirror portal. So by putting the mirror portal in a particular place, right here, we dash into it, and we are just inside the wall. And now we can go into Pyramid Fairy.
Well, very convenient. And of course, as you were saying previously, this would normally be paired with a check of escape, but obviously since our mirror was in escape, can't make use of that.
Yeah. This is in logic, by the way. So I actually, we've checked almost everything, so I expect Pearl is maybe here. Or progression at least. Okay, no, of course not. Alright, I think Malmo is going to try and go to Palace of Darkness now. Instead of... Malmo, what is this? I have actually don't know this. I'm going to learn something. I can guess what this is, but I don't know exactly. Yeah, this is a mirror wrap for something, but I'm not sure what.
Needed to use some magic to be able to drink the blue
No,
potion.
Malmo is trying to use the mirror. Oh, okay. Now is okay. Tried to use the potion and failed. So that is a frame perfect input. You need to press left and Y on the same frame, and if you miss by one, you don't get that. You either transition, which happened once, or you drink the potion, and then you can't try again.
So that was another version there of the fake flute.
A failed fake flute. Because you need to get the YBA, which consumes the blue potion. But if you drink the blue potion, then you can't use it for the YBA.
We're seeing
Okay.
the bomb version of the hair pot here.
Ooh, bad subpixel. Okay, so where is Pearl? Pearl can be in Super Bunny Cave, which we have not checked. Pearl can be in Turtle Rock, which would be really silly. Or it can just be in Village of Outcasts. So Spleebie here is doing the Pyramid Fairy clip, which Malmo just did. Malmo is running now through Hera, and will discover that one of the items is completely locked behind the basement. A couple, the YBAs are all out of logic, so we just kind of take whatever blue potions we can get and try and use them. And if we fail, it's like, okay, whatever, because it's out of logic anyway. That being said, you can use them to get things which are in logic faster, but actually requiring them is not part of the logic. Spleebie taking a death, which was probably intentional. I didn't see exactly.
Yeah.
Malmo taking a fall to Moldorm, which is almost certainly not intentional.
Yep. Definitely didn't gain anything from that drop. But yeah, it looks like Spleebie was doing the same glitch there.
Yeah,
and will be
that's actually not what we usually want to do. What we usually try to do is get a Houlihan off, because by doing DMD, it actually breaks the camera out sufficiently that you can get a Houlihan. But neither rudder managed to get it, unfortunately, so we can take a death as an alternative option.
Spleebie, I think, considering his options.
Man, I can't believe we just rolled a random seed in pearls in like a actual troll location.
I know that's what he was hoping for, so maybe it came true.
Alright, looks like to me Malmo is heading over to Super Bunny Cave and TR right now. To address just something in chat, Hyrule Magic is very banned because it is an Underworld YBA, and we do not allow Underworld major glitches for Overworld glitches because it's Overworld glitches only.
Yeah, Spleebie there using that book that I found at Dig Game earlier, but we'll be doing another clip here.
Pearl. Alright, other Tom says Pearl at chess game. I say Pearl and Crystal Roller Room. That is my bet.
And Spleebie there showing off something you were mentioning earlier, that sign on the land bridge, showing off the Overworld Glitches tournament winners.
That is true, Michael. It is Plaid World. I'm just simplifying because the rabbit hole goes down for a while. Right. Alright, so we've seen Super Bunny. Just fall down a hole and you get Super Bunny, open the chests. But now Malmo's gonna go to TR. And there is a pretty well-known glitch to get into TR called a mirror clip. A lot of people think that for some reason it should be allowed in NMG, and they're all wrong. Malmo, why did you jump down? Malmo, where are you going? I don't know what Malmo's doing. Okay, Malmo's not going to tier.
Getting some more potions.
It's in logic. You should do it.
Is there something besides another fake flute that Malmo would be attempting to do here?
I mean, with blue potions, there's pretty much just the fake flutes that you can do with it in Overworld glitches. Alright, so Spleebie here is doing the mirror clip. If you mirror in a particular spot and then let the mirror portal take you back while you're standing inside this little spot on the ledge, you get put inside the ledge, and you can jump straight down. And so that just gets you straight onto the ledge. It's very easy to do, very easy to learn. Probably, I think, most people's first major glitch. Spleebie here, I'm gonna take a death to get a link state inside the dungeon. The game doesn't expect you to die in a dungeon as a bunny, so it just gives you link state.
A nice little bonk clip there.
I was asking about other color potions. So yes, red and green potions do let you do a different effect, but it is significantly more restricted in its applications. One particular application Purdy just mentioned is blacksmith. There are a few other little things you can do with them. You can dupe items on the overworld, which is not very useful, honestly, because you kind of need to know that they're there and then explicitly not pick them up to dupe them later. But it can let you just like get a tempered sword from one fighter sword you see on Bumper Cave Ledge. Spleebie should have started with Mimic Cave. Yes, I agree. Mimic Cave, we have Hammer, and so we need to do that. Malmo, on the other hand, is just going to use Bow Potion here to try and fake flute, presumably to 3, I imagine, to try and get the Village of Outcast checks that are in logic, but may also want to do Palace of Darkness. Not sure.
Yeah, doing what Spleebie did earlier. So, I mean, it does feel like our progression is going to be here in TR.
So this is a pretty common thing to do in Entrance Randomizer, for example, to go through TR backwards. But we do it in Glitched all the time, just because going through the front is painful. You have to find a medallion and everything, and then you have to like actually go through the dungeon and all. Does the logic still protect you from key locks? I believe it does, yes. Now, major glitches does not protect you from key locks. Specifically in Misery Mire, you need to be careful about that. But I feel like if you're playing major glitches, you usually know what you're doing anyway. Pearl and Tyranno layer. Oh no.
We'd have to do a pretty substantial glitch to get there. I can't recall if Spleebie dipped here into Thieves Town the first time through.
No, because going into Thieves Town would reset link state and leave you as a bunny again. So we have not seen what's in Thieves Town, but this is not in logic, so the Moon Pearl will definitely not be here. But doing Thieves Town first is fine, just because we have Hammer, we can clear out the whole thing. Spleebie just got an item out of the big key chest, and I didn't see what it was. Malmo has not checked Village of Outcasts yet, no. If you take a death in Thieves Town, I think you check Village of Outcasts first, just to see if Pearl is there.
Spleebie finally getting to Mimic Cave and just 10 arrows.
Okay, so Pearl is... Oh my goodness, so Pearl is either in... Oh, Pearl could be on Landmos, I think. Assuming I don't know if we've seen all the chests in Desert, but we have Lamp. Pearl is probably in Village of Outcasts. I cannot imagine that it would be anywhere else though. I think we probably don't have another item left in Desert Palace. Otherwise, we probably would have seen it by now.
Yeah, I mean, both runners went there early. We definitely got the hook shot in there. I can't recall if we found our second item. Obviously, both runners skipping Landmo at that point due to not having the weaponry to take it down. Definitely could now, but probably some better options on their plate.
Yes, Malmo has finished Eastern Palace. Was Eastern really Green Pendant? Did Malmo get the Sahasra item? I assume she had to.
Yes, Malmo did, and it was just 20 rupees.
Okay, so we're just going to look for Moon Pearl for 50 minutes. That's cool.
I'm assuming Pod is considered out of logic without the Pearl?
Yes, it's out of logic. There are ways to get in, of course. Ways that actually do not involve using fake food. Stumpy is not logic, no. You can't lift the bushes around the grove, or break them in any way. In major glitches, you can use a mirror wrap to get in there.
All right. Well, while we got a little bit of a break from the sort of weirder glitches, just want to go ahead and say, go ahead and give these two runners a follow. They're really want to thank them for putting on this exhibition race for us, putting themselves out there. They're doing a great job so far. And also want to thank the Gomo podcast for putting this on. If you haven't already checked it out, there's the Discord link. And yeah, like I was saying at the top, the podcast this week was all about overworld glitches. So if this interests you, go check that out. It's a very interesting topic, especially for someone like me who has not really dipped their toe into the overworld glitches scene. So highly, highly recommend it. Not only for this week, but just in general. The podcast is fantastic.
So we do get a vanilla glove in Thieves Town Big Chest, which is kind of amusing. The glove is very useful. We need it for a bunch of entrances. In particular, ones like Checkerboard Cave that are stuck under big rocks. We have no way of getting those without the glove. But we have now finished Thieves Town.
Yep. Very nice fight there for Malmo. Got a little bit away there in phase 3, but if you're getting through phase 1 and 2 with the scripts, the fight becomes significantly easier. So very well done there.
And now we finally get to check Village of Outcasts, and please, Pearl should be here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it has to be C-shaped house.
Alright, moment of truth. As Spleebie is doing the quick kill here on Arnos, Malmo is grabbing the Moon Pearl in C-shape.
There it is. Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's going to make life significantly easier.
Okay, so now that we're armed with Moon Pearl, the entire Dark World is open to us. We can clip into Misery Mire, as Spleebie has already shown us. So now is a good time to mention something with Fake Dark World. You can actually use the mirror because you're on a Dark World screen, as Malmo is demonstrating here. But it actually just sends you to the same Dark World screen, because what it does is it changes your world state, and the game thinks you're in Light World, so it sends you to Dark World, even though you're using the mirror on a Dark World screen, and then it concludes that you should now be in Dark World, and puts you back on the same screen.
Programming.
The important part is that it gets you out of Fake Dark World, so Malmo can now continue with the route.
So Malmo doing the dig game here will be getting that book. And we'll see what Spleebie elects to do. Looks like we are going to be setting up for that fake flute again.
Yeah, at this point, I think Spleebie has done everything else in the world. Oh, Spleebie's going to 7. Oh, no. Alright, so there is a pull spot close to Flute 7 right here, and so Spleebie can use it to get links to dig on. But I think Spleebie is actually trying to go without Moon Pearl now.
I was about to say, I think Spleebie may have concluded that the Pearl is indeed in C-shaped or in Village of Outcasts, just in general, and is now intentionally avoiding it.
Alright, Malmo doing a clip here to go to Misery Mire. Not getting the teleport. So once again, teleports are pixel precise. So, and almost every glitch that's being done here is pixel precise or frame precise in some manner. Not usually both at the same time, but they are all very, very difficult to do completely consistently every time, and so the runners are doing a really great job of nailing most of these glitches here. I never get to see the Mire Medallion. What is it?
I'm afraid I missed it again as well. It's kind of hard. It's the screen there is very distracting.
Is there a reason Spleebie didn't immediately go to Hype Cave? Yes, you lose your link state if you go into Hype Cave. And so you don't want to immediately lose it because you can open it and then come back. Yeah, pixel precise is not too hard because the pixels in this game are pretty generous. But it's worth mentioning that like this getting everything consistently is pretty difficult.
Spleebie doing some funky stuff with the camera there.
Did Spleebie do Mirror DMD? I like the good one. I missed it. I'm kind of sad because that one's really good. All right, Spleebie's gonna get Moon Pearl.
All right, so not Pearlless for Spleebie this seed, but that's okay. As Malmo heads into the Landmo fight here, going to looks like just go with Master Short Spins and Hammer.
I mean, honestly, we don't really have too much better. Although I personally would have would use the bow by virtue of practicing too much NMG.
Yeah, I was about to say if you're familiar at all with NMG, the bow strats would be the way to go. Though that can be really tricky if you haven't practiced.
Oh yeah, it's very hard. But I honestly think that I would do better than trying to use the hammer.
Been doing nicely there with spins and got them into a nice little pattern where they were both coming up at the same time.
Alright, so there was no item on Landmos. So yeah, Moon Pearl had to be in Village of Outcasts. That's cool.
Alright, so I'm talking a lot about the glitches, but like I was saying earlier, the thing I'm really interested in is routing here. So from this point, now that we have our Dark World access, we've got that Moon Pearl, and it becomes a lot easier to traverse. What would we be looking to do typically from this position?
First I'm wondering why Malmo's going back in here, because I'm not actually sure what's left in here to get. But the idea is, we only have a couple of dungeons required. Oh, I guess we didn't get Big Chest? Okay. Do people new to NMG do Sword or Ice Rod Landmo? You do Bow Landmo. There is no other option. Ice Rod wastes like 2 or 3 minutes to get early. Sword is extremely bad. You just learn Bow Landmo. What you can do actually is get the 3 bomb pack in the back of the Hospital's hut and use some bombs at the start to make the fight a little bit more comfortable. But it doesn't change the fact that you have to do most of your damage with the bow.
Yeah, I mean, if you've done like a Silver's bow strat, trying to get the one cycle from like in between, you could do something similar to that if you're not practiced with the actual NMG strat. It's actually very similar.
So Malmo also showing the Mayo exit, and therefore demonstrating that Flute is entirely redundant. We do not care about it whatsoever for going into Meyer. We just go in and go out.
Yeah, there was just some weird lump of clay or something in the forest. We left that behind.
It's made out of solidified blue potions.
Well, I imagine for Malmo, the logical progression here would be to go straight for Pod after this.
Yeah, Palace of Darkness is pretty much your only good option here. We don't have good access to any other dungeon.
Do we still need our flippers for our swamp entry?
We do, yes. We still need flippers, fire rod, and ice rod. The rods for Trinex, of course, and the flippers for Swamp Palace.
And those would be our go mode. This situation.
Yo, Spleebie doing. Oh, Spleebie did not get proper LSD. That's unfortunate. So if you like pull up the select menu as you go into the blind fight, you can get a nice, very brightly colored blind fight. Unfortunately, the timing was a little bit off, so we didn't get it. We just got the circle instead. Oh yeah, we also need bombos to get into Meyer. That is important to not forget. We don't care about the Turtle Rock Battalion, as we have seen already.
It has been demonstrated we can get into Turtle Rock without it going in the front entrance.
Yep, so now is a good time to mention that Ganon's Tower is, of course, always open. There is a clip to get into Ganon's Tower very early. I have a feeling Malmo is doing it right now, because GT is a very good play at this point. We have Hammer and Hookshot, as well as Samaria and Lamp, that lets us get everything in the basement.
Yeah, also going to put this book to use, checking this ether tablet. Spleebie finally getting over to Magic Bat using the same same clip there that Malmo did earlier.
Crubble asking about Mitzel's IP entry. Yes, that is in logic. There is a flipper clip to get into Ice Palace. The mirror wrap is not in logic, but it's honestly easier. So when we get flippers, Ice Palace becomes in logic. Although, honestly, I can see just going to Ice Palace once we have access to it, just so we can use Icebreaker. Kern, how are you typing with your eyes closed?
I'm been made aware of the fact that Kern can do a lot of really interesting things with his eyes closed. So.
Like beat A Link to the Past randomizer.
Malmo checking out Hookshot Cave here and gets the second armor upgrade.
Mitts are logically required for the Smith chain. Actually, it is logically required to save the blacksmith, not actually to get the purple chest.
So it looks like Malmo is going to be heading into TR here, which she skipped earlier. I'm guessing for Spleebie, no, gonna save and quit. Still putting off Landmo since he knows that that is not an item. Will we see a GT entry here from Spleebie?
Probably not, because he fixed the camera, and you don't have to fix the camera going to GT. But yes, Overworld Glitch's entrance randomizer is a thing, and it's pretty fun. I personally prefer just playing no logic, but Malmo likes it, I know. The thing is, with those two, or combining Overworld Glitches and entrance randomizer is not super hard, because Overworld Glitches just applies to like the overworld and to what you can do and get to from certain places, so you can add those logical rules in fairly easily.
Yeah, I'd imagine they fit together pretty well.
Overworld Glitches and doors is very easily compatible. Yeah, just plain no logic. Logic is for cowards. Alright, Spleebie here is doing Catfish DMD. I did not talk about funny auto walks, but they're funny, and they let you like automatically walk halfway down a screen, and they're called funny auto walks because that's what Scooch called them in his video, and so everyone just calls it that now.
Well, makes sense. So Spleebie getting the catfish check done.
Yeah, this is actually a great example of what makes routing Overworld Glitches different from no glitches. We in no glitches, catfish is like this huge out of the way check. You have to make a whole thing to go up there, or try and chain it with other things to make it more appealing. In Overworld Glitches, we just clip down from the mountain, and it's like it's just part of Dark Death Mountain. Malmo's going to do it here too. It's a very standard routing to just do this.
Yeah, seems very convenient, and you know, we've been talking about Pod a little bit. They've got the full loadout to complete it, and that routing makes getting over here really simple.
Yep, this is a pretty common route to go from Dark Death Mountain down to Catfish, then down into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, I mean, Catfish is in NMG definitely one of those things. You're either doing it early, or you're probably hoping it's nothing and never going there until you're forced to. But yeah, with this, definitely makes a lot of sense to do those Dark Death Mountain checks, pop down, grab it, and then head over here to Pod. Ooh, Spleebie gonna go for the Pod hover. Oh, not quite.
Oh yeah, this is the hard one, hardest hover in the game.
Yeah, definitely the toughest hover to pull off.
Arista. Okay, so there is a glitch to get into Pod without paying Kiki. It is not really faster unless you are coming from Flute 5, I think. And even then, it only saves a couple of seconds. That is glitch allowed in Overworld Glitches. There is an Underworld glitch that lets you get into Palace of Darkness, but that is banned because we are playing Overworld Glitches.
We've got both runners in Pod now. As far as, you know, obviously this is an exhibition race. This is all fun and games, but I know both our runners want to win. This is a pretty interesting one so far, and has been close throughout.
Part of it is that the routing has been really bottlenecked by Pearl. There's not a lot you can do efficiently until you get Pearl to do Dark World stuff. Of course, you can get everything, not very efficiently, but you can.
Yeah, and I mean that's something that happens in, you know, normal rando. Sure, everybody's familiar. Spleebie with a nice little stair extension glitch, getting through those pegs. Very nicely done.
Did we ever propose funny auto stair thing as a name for that? I'm really upset if we didn't.
I'm not sure.
Oh no, that would have been the best name, because that's like the name that actually makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know that naming for that one ever really came up, as far as I'm aware.
I think it's just called Stare Extension, but I want to call it the funny auto stare thing now.
Well, just got to make it so.
Oh yeah, it's called PogChamp Clip. Oh no, I'm not gonna talk about how I feel about PogChamp Clip.
We'll just leave that one alone.
All right, so let's talk about GT, because Pewdie and other Tom are bringing up a good point about not going to GT. I did mention it earlier. GT has a clip to get in, so we don't actually care about the crystal requirement. Furthermore, the junk fill is 0. So you may know there's a junk fill in GT that prevents it from having too many nice items because it's blockaded behind a bunch of crystals. But the junk fill is gone, so it can have a lot of stuff. And I really do not agree with putting it off for this long. I would have gone there probably as soon as I just had the ability to clear out the entire thing using the bomb jump on the right side. Stair Launch. Thank you. I'm pretty sure that's the name. I don't know. There's a lot of names and there's not like a standard name for it, but I'm gonna call it Funny Auto Stare now.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a better name than Stair Extension Glitch. That gets tiring to say after a couple times saying it.
But the agreement for this race is to do all the crystals and pendants, and to not pick up the flute or to activate flute. We just didn't pick it up because we could see it.
Should definitely point that out for people who are just coming in.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a standard Overworld Glitches seed with quick swap enabled, but because our runners wanted to show off all the cool glitches, we are going to be doing all dungeons except for Aga 1.
Because it is slow and not different. So there's kind of no point. But wow, Pod is there's just nothing here. Cool. It's just all in GT.
Most exciting thing we got was half magic, and that has been about it. Yes, I mean, obviously the seed gave us everything to complete Pod super early, so of course it has nothing. As is the way.
Alright, Spleebie getting good spin speed on Helmasaur in order to be able to get a hammer hitbox extension.
Yep, I think that was very recently discovered.
Yep, relatively.
But yeah, very nice kill there from Spleebie.
Okay, so I imagine we have to go to GT now. We have like nothing else. What do you even do? You can't do any other dungeons?
Yeah, without the flippers for entry into ice or swamp. Does seem to be our best option at this point.
Okay, so I should actually explain the rule set a little bit more thoroughly, because I kind of glossed over it at the beginning, saying that it's just, major glitches of the overworld.
Yeah, we were a little bit pressed for time. The race was getting
we have a specific definition involving the restricted major glitches rule set that they use in vanilla, which bans a couple of things. In particular, it bans Ancilla misslotting. So you are not allowed to misslot Ancilla anywhere. And you are furthermore not allowed to perform any door glitches, which are underworld, but it's worth noting. You can't do door glitches, which involves. Oh, that's a terrible flipper location.
That's.
Yeah. So the main thing is you can do pretty much anything on Overworld in Overworld glitches, but you can't do misslotting. And then Underworld is only minor glitches allowed.
Well, that flipper is a pretty big find there from Spleebie, and yes, a terrible spot for it to be.
I wouldn't be surprised if Malmo also gets that, just because it is on the way and we have half magic now, so it's easy to get in and out. But I also wouldn't be surprised if she just skips it and we don't have flippers on Malmo's side for the next, 40 minutes. Yes, thank you, Chex. We also can't tree warp. Tree warp is a wrong warp. Technically. But even, not technically. It's confusing.
And, I'm trying to eyeball this here. I assume we're going to be finishing GT here.
Yes, I imagine so. I would assume that we get a full clear.
I can't see any reason why you wouldn't do it.
Well, the bomb jump is annoying, which is understandable. Okay, yeah, Malmo's going into Spike Cave, so we will get flippers on both sides.
But yeah, GT being in Logic this early definitely makes things interesting, and it's something you only really see in something like a entrance, like a cross keys, in your sort of typical NMG modes.
Yeah, in particular, hook pushing is a very, very powerful way to do a lot of things. Overworld Conveyor is a pretty neat and easy way to skip things.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Spleebie.
Yeah, the strats in the underworld are still important. Still gotta know how to do all your movement in the dungeons, because you have no glitches to help you get around that.
Yeah, I mean, it should be said, I mean, the game is still very much the same in a lot of respects. So, while someone like myself would probably get crushed pretty easily, and if I started running these, I feel like once you know all the glitches, I mean, it's still rando at heart.
Yeah, part of it is that there is a very wide number of tricks that you learn just to save time. A lot of things that you've seen here are out of logic because Malmo and Spleebie want to show off, or pure B time-saving glitches that you don't need to know. And so, the set of glitches that you actually have to know is something like you need to know Hair Clip, you need to know a way to get over to East Death Mountain, you need Death Mountain Ascent, you probably, you just kind of generally need to know how to do teleport so that then you can apply that in a lot of places. You need to know GT Clip, and then maybe Flutless Mire, and that's about it.
Let's see, Spleebie's Ice Armos fight here. As both our runners are now in GT. As you were saying, I mean, the way this seed just kind of laid itself out with the Pearl being where it was, really just kind of bottlenecked things. So, definitely makes sense that our runners are on the same track. There's Bombos. We need that for our Misery Mire entrance.
I expect that we continue through GT here, though, because Mire is not particularly wealthy with items. Oh, there's Quake. Hilarious.
Two of our 3 pendants here in GT. Or our medallions, excuse me.
TR medallion requirement is something that we don't care about. I legitimately don't know. I didn't even look at it. You can leave it unmarked and nobody will care. We probably won't even see the front of TR again. I mean, yeah. Kern, you don't know that?
Spleebie finishing off a... oh my goodness. Spleebie finishing off a fun boomerang clear of Tile Room and gets rewarded with silver arrows.
Yeah. That I think that bomb boost is a little bit early. I think it's not going to kill the 2 spawned Beeries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but there is a full magic container, which is nice.
It's going to miss out on it, unfortunately, as it despawns, but...
It's fine. There's one in the pot down here.
There's one down here.
So this is no major glitches logic tech. This bomb jump here, but I figure you may as well explain it because it doesn't actually come up that often. But in here,
you'd see it a lot in something like cross keys.
Yeah.
A lot, but relatively speaking, compared to like your typical open mode.
Spleebie, no. Don't hover this, please. Can you get inside Hookshot Cave without Moon Pearl? I mean, yes. With a just like a fake flute somewhere. Just kind of like generically with like as a bunny. As a bunny, yes. I'm gonna say yes. You can probably citrus in there. I haven't tried it or had any reason to ever try it because you can't actually do anything with vanilla entrances, but I'm gonna say that you can.
Yeah, freddeh, by a lot, I mean ever at all. In something like cross keys.
Okay, Malmo getting...
Yeah, Spleebie skipping out on the bomb jump in favor of the hover over that gap. Normally, you'd have to do a timed bomb jump, evading not only the fireball, the shooter in the room, but also the wallmaster, which is a lot of fun.
Michael, you can also mirror wrap to the back of Hookshot Cave, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I've seen it done.
Oh, it's Spleebie rewarded for this with a tempered sword.
I am not convinced it's going to save the time that it took if Malmo decides to completely skip out on the compass room.
Definitely won't if they find another sword. If they don't find the final sword, then maybe it saves. Probably not. It did take Spleebie a while to set that up.
Bomb jumps are not in logic. No. The underworld logic is pretty much identical to no major glitches. I don't think there's any exceptions. I can't think of any off the top of my head. There's stuff like you can go into multiple different Turtle Rock entrances, but that's like a separate thing. So with all the entrances the same, the requirements are all the same. Also, a good point is dark rooms are also non-logic, which is kind of silly. But any like minor glitch in the underworld that would be considered out of logic in no glitches is also out of logic here. But minor glitches on the overworld, like fake flippers, are in logic. Now we're getting kind of beat up in Gauntlet 4. Gauntlet 4 is the worst room, honestly. It does not have any potions to heal up.
Yeah, so at this point, we're really just looking for our 2 rods. Got everything else we need to finish off this seed.
Oh yeah, Super Bunny and Underworld Bunny Revival. Thanks. Forgot about that.
Both runners missing out on the 1 cycle land mode 2. Ooh, Spleebie missing. Didn't quite get turned down in time. Couple of messy fights, but they're both through it, and we got pretty much our 2 runners have pretty much synced themselves up.
Underworld Bunny Revival, die in a dungeon, and you're not Bunny anymore. That's it. Is that what kids these days are calling Dungeon Bunny Revival?
So, kind of curious. Is this something? Like, is this something that's a little more rare? It feels like we've kind of got locked into something a little more linear here. When my preconception of overworld glitches would be that it would tend to be a little more open, as far as that sort of stuff is concerned.
I think part of it is that we're running all dungeons basically, and so the choices are pretty easy to make. You don't have to think about ever like picking between a pendant and not a pendant, and we pretty much last location Moon Pearl on both sides, so there was no Sphere 1 to go back to. But in most seeds, you don't have a garbage Moon Pearl, and you can actually go to Dark World much earlier, and so that makes the routing very different, especially with an early mirror, for example.
Well, routing makes the routing a lot more variable.
Right. So here we got this is a particularly linear seed, I think. Linear in the sense that your decisions are very constrained. You still have a lot of decisions, but only one of them is the right one, and then it's also the most unappealing one, so you do everything else first.
Yeah, seems like we definitely got one this probably, I would assume, pretty rare for overworld glitch racing, but as you said, also having to do with our decision to do all dungeons. For instance, in this case, with Swamp and Ice Palace both being pendants, those flippers would not have been required, assuming that one of our rods isn't in one of those dungeons.
Okay, but Fire Rod's probably in Swamp Palace because it like always is.
There is that.
We did get Bombos Medallion in GT, which is required. But other than that, yeah, GT, not too many items, which is a little bit strange. Usually you get at least 2 or 3 progression items in here. I guess if we came earlier, we would get a better sword out of it. We really just got Tempered Sword, which is not super useful. So we do get Aga 2 down, but we don't have the crystals, so we can't go to Ganon, and we have to go finish the dungeons. Rods on the laser bridge, please no.
That would be incredible. There's a cool little fake filter clip there from Spleebie. Or sorry, not even fake flipper, just a clip. Of course, we have the flippers.
With regards to the mode that we play, this is obviously not a standard mode since we're doing like all the dungeons except Dagger 1 and all that. Very commonly, 7-7 defeat Ganon. The preset on the website is actually 7-7 fast Ganon. But fast Ganon is really bad for overworld glitches, because you have access to GT very early, and then like you don't have to finish it, so you never want to go there, but it has 27 chests, so you also really do want to go there. Spleebie, okay, that's not the setup that I use, but it seems to have worked. That is an overworld bomb clip. So like I said, diagonal walls are pretty bad. We've been mostly abusing the ones sloped downwards like this. Spleebie, that's not going to work. Spleebie, that is not going to work. What are you doing? Alright, Spleebie nails the overworld bomb clip and then softwalks himself in the tree. It happens.
Where was he attempting to go with that?
He was just trying to go into Mire, but he was doing the teleport too high on the ledge, and so as a result got flung over into the tree. It's very easy to get yourself stuck in collision if you don't do things in the right positions. So, I mean, there you're off by 16 pixels. You're doing it way too high. This is an interesting bomb clip setup. I have not seen this one before. It's not the one that I usually use. doesn't seem to be working out too well.
He's getting bodied a little bit by the enemies here.
I think that one is subpixel dependent. It looks subpixel dependent to me. It's consistent? Okay. If Taj made it, it's probably consistent. Except when you're being restreamed. Classic. Yeah, I used the one in the All Dungeons guide, I think.
Alright, so we've finally got some divergence here. Our runners have been pretty much together since pod. But Malmo choosing to do the Swamp Palace play here. Spleebie going to Mire. Obviously, Swamp is a pendant, so it's not technically required, but our runners are doing all dungeons. So with that in mind, I think the play here for Swamp is the one I would prefer to go with.
I'm gonna honestly say that I think Mire is probably a slightly better logical play. Just because we found Bombos in GT.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I just think since we are doing all dungeons, the item density would be the thing I would be most interested in. Spleebie does still have to finish off Landmo as well, so
yeah,
I'll be able to get those both out of the way here.
I did teach Malmo TR to Skullwoods. No, mitts are terrible. Okay, I take it back. Swamp Palace is better.
Well, that's one of our two items here is the mitts, and if you're unfamiliar with overworld glitches, like myself, you might be thinking, hey, mitts, that's fantastic. You need those, right?
Well,
the answer would be,
no.
In this mode, no.
Oh, mitts, because we have so many ways to get around, mitts are only logically required for smiths, and oh, that's a nice one.
Oh, boy.
So mitts are only logically required for smiths, which means that getting mitts is basically a suggestion, hey, go do smith chain. And smith chain's bad, so you don't want to do it. Well, okay, there's an ice rod on the left side swamp. That's kind of terrible.
Yeah, that is quite the placement for that.
Do mitts save time? No, not really. Like, honestly, they really don't save very much time.
So yeah, this play ends up working out very, very well for Malmo. And going to be doing another diver down. Or did the one earlier to get over to left side. Is the big key. And looks like we'll be going back for that big chest. I assume because, yeah, we know that it's an item. We already got the map, and we just found the compass with that big key. So we know the big chest is an item. I definitely agree with going back for it right now.
Glitches to make smith chain faster? Not really, no. Smith chain is pretty much just as terrible in overworld glitches as it is in no glitches.
Not even glitches can make that check better.
Meanwhile, Spleebie is having a wonderful time doing this chest with the lamp instead of fire rod. Having to shove all the blocks.
Yeah, I'm curious. So we already found one item here. I haven't been paying as much attention to Spleebie's side. Did we find a small key in that first firelock chest?
I don't think so, but this is probably just big key, because I know Spleebie has been everywhere in the dungeon. I don't remember, though. Oh no, it's small key. Wait. Wait, that means Big Key was in the compass chest. Okay, we are definitely not paying attention. That's actually very unfortunate.
Yeah, that is big time sink. Now I'm going to put those tile room silvers to use here and take down Argus. And finds the fire rod.
So both rods are just in Swamp Palace, and the seed would be therefore garbage if we were not playing it with the special all dungeons rule.
Well, I'm not sure the all dungeons rule makes it much better, but
no,
yeah.
it makes it better because you don't think about going into swamp.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You had to do swamp anyways in this format, but wow.
Alrighty, so now we can get to the glitches. Malmo here is doing a method to get into Ice Palace, which is the mirror wrap here. So if you use mirror on a screen transition, you kind of like go to the other side of the transition without actually using it. And so now we can hit the transition from the other side, and here's Ice Palace. That went by really fast, and I didn't get to explain it very well, but there you go. Alright, Malmo, don't do the bomb clip. There you go.
Oh, I was wondering what Spleebie was doing, but has run out of arrows, which is unfortunate. But gets the kill on Vidi all the same. Gets 300 rupees for his trouble. And another crystal.
Okay, so I imagine Spleebie just finishes Desert Palace and then goes straight to Swamp here. Because, I mean, that's just typical routing. It's like all dungeons routing. Like the speedrun all dungeons, not like the goal all dungeons.
Yep. Is going to finish off Desert here, but yes, I imagine that the next stop is definitely going to be Swamp.
Alright, here's Icebreaker. Michael will say it's a major glitch and therefore not allowed. But it's allowed by the rule set.
Yes, Icebreaker.
So.
Even if you're unfamiliar with Overwatch glitches, if you've paid attention at all recently, even to the NMG categories, you will be familiar with that glitch. And yes, it is a very contentious one, but is allowed. So Malmo's in go mode here, but I presume is looking for another sword.
Yeah, these chests are all on the way mostly, so not too bad to check them. Major is a construct. Sure. Spleebie still has no arrows. Spleebie, why did you not pick up the arrows in the pot outside Landmoose? You could have gotten arrows for the Landmo fight. Just the 5 in there would have been good enough.
I'm sure it would have made life easier, but Spleebie has, I think, consistently during the seed shown that making life easier is maybe not as interesting.
Bonks are a construct? I wish. Alright, I'm gonna abuse that half magic, get a nice fire out spam cold stare fight on Malmo's side. Spleebie is going to clip out of Misery Mire and head over to probably Swamp Palace.
That would be a play.
And hopefully Spleebie will do the left side of Swamp, or will be very disappointed.
I was about to say, I honestly can't imagine Spleebie will skip that.
No, I don't think Sweetie skips it. But people seem to do it a lot in no major glitches, and I think they're wrong about that. But hey,
I'm right here. But I think there are certain situations nowadays with Diver Down. Obviously, left side swamp is. I think you do it almost every time. I do think there are certain situations where you would still consider skipping it. Because it's still skipping it still does save you a significant amount of time if your opponent does it and finds nothing. But yeah, I mean, with Diver Down in this scenario, missing 2 items. I mean, what's even left at this point? Ice Palace.
yeah, I think you definitely go for it here. And like you said, Diver Down makes it a lot faster. Malmo is not showing us TR to Skull, so I'm sad.
We may see that from Spleebie's side, so if I'm not sure if Spleebie knows it, but if he does, might like to do that.
I think so, yes.
So perhaps we can explain it then if Spleebie does it. I also think, I believe this chest here was a map. That is another factor that I feel like it would definitely push me to be doing left side swamp. So
right, yeah.
Pushes Spleebie that direction. Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go get it. Alright, so we won't have to worry about skipping Ice Rod. So Spleebie is now not only out of arrows, but also out of bombs.
Well, thank God for that cane to be able to still do this. And we've got Malmo over here taking on Mothula. Out of fire rod shots, but with our red armor and the amount of health we got, this fight is no problem at all. And that just leaves 2 dungeons left for Malmo.
Alright, there's Ice Rod on Spleebie's side.
Yeah, so at this point, Malmo has a bit of a lead on Spleebie. And given that Malmo will be in go mode for Meyer, we'll save a little bit of time on Spleebie's clear, since Spleebie went all the way through to cutscene room. The one major advantage that Spleebie does have is that tempered sword, as we have not found the 4th sword as of yet.
And we get a nice pedestal pull for the memes.
I mean, why not? You're there. Yeah, we had checked that earlier, so we knew it was a fairy in a bottle.
I don't think Malmo checked it.
I was about to say, I don't think Malmo did. I know Spleebie did.
Why pedestal pull? Because meme. Okay, I should explain this now, because we're going to see another glitch. So Malmo clips down onto this ledge here and kind of wiggles her way over to this screen transition. Does another mirror wrap to get on the wrong side of the transition, sort of, and then scrolls over to Laser Bridge. Okay, that happened very fast. There's a very clean mirror wrap. Everything went very well there, and I barely had any time to explain it.
Oh, that's a huge find for Malmo. There's our final sword on Laser Bridge. And that basically nullifies any advantage Spleebie had for doing that that right side GT skip.
So yeah, we are now doing Turtle Rock in reverse, which is a pretty standard way to do it in Overworld glitches. The mirror wrap is not actually in logic, but it's a very convenient way to get through TR quickly. I think Spleebie's earlier clear of TR showed us that the big key is in the roller room, which means that it is going to be the last thing that Malmo checks here, which is a little unfortunate. But going from the back makes this significantly faster.
Yeah, especially since you can just mirror back once you've grabbed the big key.
I don't know why Malmo didn't check the big key chest. The big key can't. Oh, wait, did Malmo already come here? I guess.
Yes, Malmo came here earlier. It was fairly significantly after Spleebie had, but.
Alright, Spleebie going to Ice Palace now. Does not get hardlocked, which is good. There is a chance that you actually hardlock your game if you go too far to the north while doing this glitch. And if that happens, you hit a bad screen transition, and your game locks up forever in an infinite transition. You can't save and quit, and you have to hard reset. There is some risk involved with these glitches.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I mean, how many of those are there?
Generally speaking, the kind of stuff that hardlocks you is not super common. There are a couple of kind of like standard things that do it. For example, this mirror wrap is a risk. There's one DMD, which is kind of like a standard DMD that's a risk. I should clarify, DMD means Death Mountain Descent. Is a way of getting off Dark Death Mountain, because I haven't really clarified that.
No, I would imagine there's more places you can soft lock yourself, as we did see that on Spleebie's side earlier.
Yeah, soft locking yourself is pretty easy and can happen with a lot of the clips. Full hard lock is rare, but still happens often enough to be a concern worth thinking about.
Alright, well, the Spleebie now in full go mode after that swamp clear is not going to be checking any of this chest, does not care about Gold Sword. He just wants to get these dungeons done as quickly as possible. Nice little stair clip.
Kern, the mirror allows you to clip into a lot of things. Specifically, you can do a Death Mountain Descent using the mirror, and you can enter into TR using the mirror after you've gotten on top of, into Dark Death Mountain using either hammer or mitts. How do you get to the dungeons in logic? You clip into TR using the mirror clip. Alright, and that is crystal, actually the crystal number 6 for Malmo, so just one more dungeon left. And the last pendant for Spleebie.
Just Misery Mire left for Malmo here. As I said, Mire should be significantly quicker for her, given that she's now in go mode, whereas Spleebie was still looking for items. Spleebie's got to do Skullwoods and TR, and it looks like starting with TR, so you were mentioning earlier that there is a TR to Skullwoods clip.
Yes, the map wrap. Alright, so Malmo here doing the Overworld bomb clip that I am more familiar with. Also not getting it on the first try, unfortunately. This is a pretty hard one. There we go. Alright, so if you missed it earlier, Spleebie is now doing the mirror wrap to TR. Going to clip on top of this ledge here. Ooh, doing the older version. That is not the mirror wrap. Spleebie, no, don't do it. No, Spleebie, no. This is terrible. I'm upset.
So I imagine the reasoning for this is that he knows where the big key is. He knows it's in front.
Yes, the big key's in the front. I'm still upset.
But even
you're not supposed to do this.
Yeah, even so, going in from the back, going all the way through, and then mirroring back still seems like it would be.
I think this is faster. I just think this is. I just think it is bad, and you shouldn't do it.
Oh.
Then mirrorless laser bridge. Yeah. You don't even have to do mirrorless laser bridge. You can just clip onto the land bridge and line up manually. But yeah, this is the correct fast thing to do. It is also upsetting because you're not supposed to open TR ever.
Right. Yeah, I gotcha. But Spleebie trying to win this thing, so going for the faster strat then.
Malmo getting mitts. Fortunately already in go mode here, so not gonna have to worry about it. So yeah, Spleebie now is going to do a down teleport here to clip onto the land bridge. You can see it just kind of connects to this weird bit of land off screen. And then lining up on the transition. So all the mirror wraps we've seen so far had like automatic lineups where you could just jump onto it. But here you have to manually line up your position in order to be able to make it into the entrance here. That was a very nice lineup. So yeah, this will be faster. Spleebie, you need a key. Thank you.
There it is. It is going to be missing out on that gold sword, but that's minor. Not a huge deal. But yeah, I would say at this point, this is Malmo's race to lose. Just needs to kill Viddy here and then get back to the pyramid.
I actually wouldn't be 100% sure about that, just because Spleebie is on TR now and will be getting to Skullwoods very quickly. So I'm not 100% sure of the relative timing here. I think Malmo is very slightly ahead, but this is going to be quite close at the end.
Well, certainly would be rooting for that, given kind of the way this seed has played out. Obviously, we want to put it as good a race on as an exhibition for overworld glitches as we can.
Okay, Malmo just throwing the Somalia block in the pit, so we will see spooky action here, maybe? Yeah, there we go. So here's the setup. Fire Rod dash, very nice. Do we get the second one? Nope. Oh no, Malmo is definitely ahead. Now that I can see it. The Trinex animation for death apparently takes way too long. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the map wrap. So you can go off the right side of the map and come out on the left, and vice versa. So if you clip here and go over the transition, you do a funny auto walk into Skullwoods. And it's important that you don't move to the right, because if you do, then you hard lock the game. But if you go into the entrance, it fixes your camera. Very good. Okay, that's...
It's very cool. I think a good illustration of how, you have to think about routing a little bit differently in this sort of mode.
Yeah, there's a lot of creative things you can do. That is one of my favorites, just because it's a way to like just go completely across the map in just a few seconds.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, in normal mode, you would never consider doing full TR over fully clearable Skullwoods, assuming you know both are crystals, right? Or both are required dungeons. But with that sort of glitch, being able to get you down there super quickly makes a lot of sense.
Okay, Spleebie killing Mothula while Malmo is on the way to Ganon. This is actually quite close at the end. Although Spleebie is going to have to save and quit and go to Dark World. So Malmo will be like what, 30-ish seconds ahead going into Ganon?
Yeah, roughly. I mean, I'm not too sure about, you know, how Malmo's execution looks like on Ganon fights, and I know Spleebie is a very accomplished and a very good runner, so I mean, it could come down to execution. We'll have to just wait and see. Malmo's definitely got a good head start here, though. And yeah, that final sword being there on Laser Bridge was actually really, really huge. Malmo getting through the first two phases very easily.
And we do have silver arrows, so the fourth phase will go down pretty quickly. Alright, Spleebie coming into Ganon, I think about a minute to 50-ish seconds behind Malmo. So this wound up being very close. Oh, Ganon warp position,
yeah,
please.
That is... You really hate to see that.
Not faster than moat jump from Skullwoods. I don't know. I'd have to time that because you'd have to like walk through Skullwoods and everything, so I'm not sure.
Let's give me arrow number 3. And one more arrow. Does the job.
Alright, GG to Malmo. Finishing off Ganon first. And going into the Triforce door with a time of 1:56:09 on the 1:56:09 in racetime.gg.
Get your GGs in chat for Malmo. That was a very entertaining race to watch. And beyond the fact that, you know, we're showing off all these really cool overworld glitches, it's also a really close race. Probably, I don't think we could have asked for much more. And Spleebie gets the final arrow. And we'll be crossing the bridge here.
And Spleebie finishing with a 1:56:55. When all is said and done, we're within a minute at the end, which is very impressive.
Yeah. Once again, you go GG's in chat for these runners. They put on quite a show for us. But yeah, I think overall, I mean, this was probably a bit of an anomaly from what I understand of overworld glitches races, just because of us doing all dungeons and the Pearl being where it was.
Yeah, Pearl's an awful bottleneck. We got it at like, what, 54 minutes or something?
Yeah, it was something like that.
We just did everything possible before Pearl, even though it was in just C-shaped houses.
right, we're gonna see if we can get our runners in here for an interview to talk about that one. Looks like we will shortly.
Yeah, this was just kind of a nasty seed. And in addition to all the extra pendants, I mean, you know, Fire and Ice Rod and Pendant Swamp, and Awful Moon Pearl. Hello, Malmo. How you doing? GG on the win.
Oh, I won. I wasn't sure because
You did win.
Yeah, I think there's some unfortunate DNS stuff going on with race time. So Spleebie was a little late getting that done, but you finished.
Hello, Malmo.
Like,
how you doing?
About a minute.
45 seconds.
45 seconds. Yeah.
That's amazing. So not only did we get a close race, like I promised,
I think there was some unfortunate DNS stuff going on. With,
Moon Pearl in double last location,
so
I think.
Was a little late getting that done.
I still had Turtle Rock.
You finished.
Oh, that's true. Spleebie last location, but it was so bad. 45 seconds.
45
no, it's
seconds,
good.
Yeah.
I got to try Citrus Clip on Restream and fail it.
Moon Pro in double last location, I think.
All right.
Goodness. That was a seed. Spleebie last location. Spleebie. It was so GG. Bad.
Hey, GG Malmo.
GG.
That was quite the seed.
We got to show off a lot of things though. I got to do a mini Moldorm clip twice because I kept dying.
Right. Goodness. Yeah, there are a lot of really great clips. Hello, Spleebie. Let's see.
GG.
Got
hey, GG
all the good mirror wraps. We got a bunch of nice fake flutes. Spleebie did some bunny clips.
Nice.
Spleebie did TR to Skullwood's map wrap. There are a lot of really great clips. What else?
That's so
Let's
good.
see. Got all the good mirror wraps. We got a bunch of nice fake flutes.
Did anybody map wrap to Eastern?
Spleebie did some.
Because I really wanted to do it, but I couldn't justify it because I had already turned in my fetch quest.
TR to Skullwood's map wrap. What else? I mean, the main divergence was Malmo going to Swamp Palace and Spleebie going to Misery Mire. And so, you know, you get the rods in Swamp, and then you just don't have to full clear Mire.
Yeah, Mire was kind of nice for
that's the big thing.
Rods and get to do spooky and stuff. So that's actually part of my motivation was I wanted to do spooky, and I didn't want to go into Mire without a fire rod.
Spleebie going to Misery Mire.
I know it's stupid. You know, it's not a time save. I just wanted to do spooky because it's cool.
That's fair. You did get it.
I did get it. I didn't get the second one though, but that one's like 50-50 luck.
Yeah, I think the other kind of major factor as far as the race was concerned was Spleebie going over to right side GT. Did net a sword, but unfortunately there was another sword on Laser Bridge, which kind of took away any advantage that might have been gained by going over there.
Oh.
Yeah, I ran right by that one.
Did you go there with just lamp?
Yeah.
I can't do that. That's beyond me.
Spleebie hovered it.
It took 3 tries to hover. The bomb jump.
I tried it a couple times with the bomb jump, and I just gave up. And you know, like half the time, you know, I'm in Fire Rod Go mode anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I did that because I thought maybe the ice rod could be over there.
Yeah, I could have been.
And I didn't want to find the fire rod and have to go back to GT because that would suck.
That would suck. I wasn't gonna go back for a while. But I found everything all at once. I got Bombos upstairs, I think, and then I got like Fire Rod and Ice Rod together in Swamp. I did left side first because if I hadn't done that, I would have found Fire Rod and be like, oh yeah, I can full clear Turtle Rock except Trinex now, and I can go back to GT now, and I would never have gone back to Swamp Palace. So it was really, really lucky that I found a compass or map in the front.
So the thing that stood out to me was GT actually being almost entirely empty, just had bombos. Like, why?
Well, Bombos is required.
Well, and Flippers in Spike Cave.
Oh yeah, that was also awful.
I often forget Spike Cave. Like, I go intending to do it, and then I just hop down twice and be like, well, I guess I'm not doing Spike Cave.
Yeah, I usually just pair it with GT whenever I go in.
Yeah, that's what I did. It's just half the time I just hop twice, and then I'm like, it's too late. So when's our next Overworld Glitches Restream race? Think we can convince Speed Gaming to put this on the rotation?
Oh man, there are just not enough people doing the races though.
Oh, in general, yeah. Well, right now League is just eating up all the restreams, so maybe now's not the time. I think last time there was one on the schedule. I was at work and I was gonna watch it, and then I look in the race room and I think it's just Spleebie sitting there waiting for an opponent, and nobody shows up.
Yeah,
I wonder if we can get a no logic showcase going on speed gaming.
Oh, I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
Let's
that'd be
go.
cool. Not
I
me.
think,
Let someone else
unfortunately,
do that one.
yeah, I think unfortunately right now, given League and SGL's right around the corner, might be tough. But hopefully, if we have some people here watching that are less familiar. I mean, certainly, I haven't really dipped my toes into the overworld glitches scene at all. And this is a very entertaining race and was super interesting to watch and see the differences in how you route in a mode like this. So, you know, um, part of the goal of this was to kind of get some people who are maybe not as familiar with it to get a look at it and maybe get interested in it.
Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, routing is, I think, my favorite part of it. There's a lot of intos. You can do like Turtle Rock into Hookshot Cave, into Catfish, into Pod. You can't do that in no glitches. So it's kind of like Cross Keys, but Cross Keys takes 3 hours, and this takes 1.5 hour.
Well, usually.
Yeah. Well, we're
Oh,
doing all dungeons.
I was gonna say I wanted to do the mirror Kiki skip. I actually learned that earlier
I
today.
wanted to too, but I forgot how. I haven't done it.
And we
in
got the
years.
early mirror, but then I was doing Turtle Rock into Catfish, and I was like, well, I gotta just go to Pod from Catfish. So I did that. I figured I could show that clip instead of the mirror skip.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, Malmo, I was really hoping that you would, after Pyramid Fairy, you'd just go over to Pod and do Pod Eastern.
I had already done Eastern.
Yeah, but you hadn't. I think you hadn't done it when you got the mirror.
No, you're right. I hadn't. But
So I was really hoping you would go and do that whole chain, but unfortunately not.
I don't remember the mirror clip into
I
Pod.
don't remember either.
It's
Honestly, I
really
just do
slow.
Kiki skip every time now.
Ever
So
since I learned Kiki Skip, I just stopped using that. Because it's, Moon Pearl can't be in there anyway. And in major glitches, you can just Kiki Skip.
yeah, I was glad the Moon Pearl was in the Dark World, because that's kind of the thing with overworld glitches and higher glitch modes, I guess.
Mhm.
And I think the last one I did, like Moon Pearl, was just in the dam or something. Like it was stupid.
Boring.
that it took you guys 54 minutes to get to it.
It did. That was fun, though. I got to do a lot of fails and
Yeah, we got
not
some fun
fails
bunny
and
stuff.
yeah, bunny stuff. I tried the citrus. I couldn't do it, but, it was worth a shot. I tried to fake flu out of Pyramid Fairy, and I missed it somehow.
I
It's
tried to
hard.
do a fake flute right after beating Hera.
Hmm.
I had to save and quit to lose some health because I didn't have the mirror yet.
Oh no. I had to mirror back to lose health too in one of those. Or to lose magic or something.
You gotta lose something. You can't drink the blue potion with full health, full magic.
Yeah. So tell you the scariest part of my run was I did GT into Swamp, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pretend it's RMG percent or whatever and do ice next. And then I remembered you can hard lock here. And I had just done 2 dungeons and found go mode.
Well, you didn't hard lock.
I did not hard lock. But holy heck, that was nerves right there. I was like, okay, this is the part where I have to redo 15 minutes because I'm nervous.
Yeah, well, either way, you guys put on a heck of a show. Very, very close race. But any final thoughts from you guys on this race and just overworld glitches in general?
Well, I'm looking forward to Go Mode Podcast's Major Glitches episode so that we can have another one of these with probably Espeon versus someone else who's, can do no
Well,
logic.
I gotta commentate that too.
Oh, you gotta commentate it. Okay, Chex Human versus somebody who can keep up with Chex Human.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I only beat him if I get lucky.
I only beat him if he screws up.
I wanted to say, like, to anyone who thought this was interesting, I'm sure the commentators told you, but we did a bunch of stuff that's out of logic, and getting into overworld glitches is not actually that difficult. Like, you learn a few things, you learn a couple boot clips or boot teleports, whatever, and it's super easy to get into. So I would encourage anyone that was even slightly interested to try it out.
Yeah, if you haven't played the biweekly seed yet, try it out. It's really not so bad. And we put on races. Me, Spleebie, usually checks human as well. I would say about once a week. Usually overworld glitches or major glitches. But if somebody in there wants to do overworld glitches and we're doing major glitches, I'm happy to switch over.
Plus, there are a lot of really great resources. A lot of them compiled very recently by Malmo in particular about how to get into running glitched logics. I will actually put the document link in the chat. Hopefully I can actually do that. And in addition, there's also the glitched modes section in the ALTTPR Discord, where we hang out and talk about glitches all the time. So if you ever want to start getting into major glitches, just feel free to ask there. We've got plenty of people happy to help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's good. Thank you guys for running, and guys, give these two a follow. Malmo Spleebie. We've got their links there to their Twitch channels in the chat. Like I said, give them a follow. They put on a great show for us today, and want to thank freddeh and WesSideVandal. freddeh for tracking for us. WesSideVandal for putting on this restream. WesSide had to get home pretty quickly from work and put this together. So big thanks, big shout outs to him. And I also want to thank Espeon, my partner, for this. This has been a lot of fun. Learned a lot of really interesting stuff.
Yep. Thank you for co-commentating.
Yeah, not a problem. And of course, can't forget big thank you to the Go Mode podcast. Obviously, this, if it weren't for them, this wouldn't have happened. And as I mentioned before, they just recently did an episode on overworld glitches. So if any of this stuff here in this race piqued your interest, they've got a whole full episode on it for you to listen to. And just check out all their episodes. Really great stuff if you are a rando fan. And we should also have the link to the Discord for the Go Mode podcast in there as well.
Yeah. Thanks
yes.
for everything. That was great. Thanks for the comms, and thanks for Timp and GMP for putting this together in almost 24 hours from when it was suggested.
Yeah. Shout outs to Timp, Herfy Durfy, and Dante, the hosts of the podcast. Great stuff. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us here. It's been a fun time.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yeah. And you all have a great evening, morning, wherever you are. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Everyone, take care. Have a good one.